And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. Joined again with your hosts, Sean Gervais from the OrbisX CRM, as well as Marshall Hill from the Pints and Polishing Podcast, which you absolutely have to check out. It's mandatory, and Hyper Clean Car Care Products. How you doing, Marty? Welcome back.
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Yeah, what do
Enjoying
you
a
think?
beautiful week here. We're
Yeah.
mid off season in a sense. Like it's 80 when
Oh,
it's
okay.
normally 100.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah,
we had some rain came in, like wonderful, right? So
yeah. We're going through the
man,
same.
I'm
It's
loving
like,
life now. Life
yeah,
is
like
wonderful.
it's fresh, because like
Yeah.
like 3 weeks ago it was like too hot, and then 3 weeks before that I was shoveling snow. So it's like, now it's just like it's perfect.
I'm
Yeah.
out on that shoveling snow. I am pretty soon though. I'm excited about heading to the sunny state.
Ooh,
Heading to Orlando. We're now what? I guess 2 weeks, 2 weeks or so, 2, 3 weeks,
nice.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Right
Yeah,
on.
excited, ready to put
Packing.
my ass in the sand and the toes in the water. I think we'll do
Hell yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Gonna do any fishing or anything or
Hmm.
no? No, just swimming. Just swimming. Yeah.
Not even much of that.
Yeah, yeah. Not even much. I'm a beach guy too. Like I'll go
Bum,
in the ocean,
like
quick little
like
swim,
bum.
and yeah. Yeah. I'm just boom.
I I don't plan on burning 500 calories that day.
Yeah, yeah. Plan on eating 500 calories, 5,000 calories. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, and especially like after living in the Caribbean, not to say I've had my fill of the beach, but just like after a while, it's just kind of So I'm a flopper now. I just stop and
You
flop.
you gotta go play around. You do all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. I don't even. I used to, and sometime eventually, I'll look forward to getting back out and scuba diving. I do.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's
Poker
right. You're
Beach,
a diver. Ah,
wrong side there to do good scuba diving. It's too rough.
yeah, yeah,
But eventually, one day, I will. I'll get back to it. Otherwise, now it's. I don't do. I don't know. Maybe it'd be fun sometime to do fishing or go do some. But I love the
yeah.
uh,
Just the
hours
relaxation.
of just staring into the abyss and
Mhm.
hearing the waves and the people and like
The seagulls in the distance. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, that's always the best. And me,
Mhm.
I've never done scuba diving, believe it or not. I have kind of a fear of just like drowning and I don't know, something at those depths. I always wanted to though, but snorkeling, I've done a lot of snorkeling and I've done some, I don't know what they call free diving, I guess, like
Yeah.
just no tanks or anything, but shallower waters. But still, the minute you get down, you start to feel that pressure, man. It's wild. And but I used to go collect those little shells and everything, so we had all around our balcony. I had like 100 of them. The I don't know what they're actually
The
conch shells.
conch
That's
shells or something they call it or
conch, I
something.
think. Yeah, we used to call
Yeah.
it lamby, so I don't know lamby. We used to eat the meat that was inside, but yeah, lamby fritters. Oh, so good, man. That and some like hot sauce, or some people do,
Mm.
just like sriracha, ketchup, mayo, and oh my
Mm.
God, so
Mm.
good. Yeah, yeah, so
I'm a
good.
sriracha fan myself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it has that
I,
little, you know,
and I love the what I love about sriracha is it's the not the instant burn. It's that
yeah,
midway burn and then it has that like nice
it
trail.
tapers out to just flavor. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And you know what? There's a lot of different srirachas too. Like
Mm.
yeah, there's like different levels, there's even different colors of them.
The only one I know is red with the turkey or,
Oh yeah, yeah.
whatever. Like it's not a turkey, is it? It's the rooster.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. For a while, that particular one was
like
hard
the
to
only
find
one.
here. I don't know why. It was but yeah, there's other ones too. There's some good ones. And it's kind of like how there's curries. There's different curries and stuff. But actually, you know what? Fun fact that I just learned blew my mind. Ketchup is not always red.
Mm.
I didn't know that. I thought it
I
was
don't know.
always made from tomatoes, but no, there's ketchups from all different types of fruits. And so my wife watches this channel. Ah, geez, I can't remember what the channel's called, but the lady's name is Becky. And anyway, she makes her own homemade everything. I just, just, I know, but she makes her own homemade
Becky.
everything. Becky, yeah,
I
but
think I
she,
would have changed my name. Like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would have
Oh,
created a stage name at that point.
yeah, 100%. A Becky or Karen, it's getting changed.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Like anything. I'm Carmitha now. That's it. But anything. But yeah, they make ketchups on all kinds of stuff. Basically any fruit almost. It's
Hmm.
wild. So there's
I
like
thought that
mango
was called a
ketchups.
jam.
That's what I thought too. No, it's I thought I was like, the minute it's something else, like orange, it's a marmalade or this, that, all these things. No, it's
But I mean, you can grow, tomatoes different colors.
that's true too. Yeah, but no, there's like mango ketchups, there's like you name it, there's all kinds of ketchups. I didn't realize.
No,
So
there's not.
I said,
There's
you're like,
not.
no, it's not.
Mm.
No, so I said, so what makes a ketchup a ketchup? And it's really just the process
Of the
of
vinegar, is it?
yeah.
No, that's mustard.
No, they use vinegar too.
Well,
Yeah. And
okay.
what's this
Here's the
whole
interesting,
thing on?
if I haven't ever said it before, maybe I have, but
Mm.
speaking of mustard, interesting thing about mustard, don't doubt me, but I know you will. If you get any little burn,
Yeah.
any burn,
What? Mustard.
mustard,
No. You're
mustard.
joking. Holy shit.
I'm not
So like
joking.
if
Like,
you're using a pot in the kitchen, burn
and
yourself.
you burn your
No.
hand before you go to the ER, sit for hours in mustard, and even every, 10, 20 minutes, put new mustard on. It's
Wow.
wild.
Wow,
Like,
that's wild,
and
man.
I'm even exaggerating, like before you go to the ER, like you've burned it that bad,
That's
right?
crazy. And
So
mustard.
just a nice little easy burn or something. Absolutely. Like, oops, then
Yeah,
mustard. Yep.
mustard. Wow,
It's
because I
gone.
always
It
just
takes the
run.
heat out.
I always run to like cold water straight away, and
Mm.
then I'm like
No,
holding it
straight
to
to
burn.
mustard.
Mustard. Wow.
And if you do what I've done and put it on a Band-Aid
Yeah.
and then go to sleep, you'll
Ah.
wake up the next day with a little yellow finger.
That's
The
hilarious.
dye
Yes, that
color.
stuff
Yeah.
stains.
That
It
dye color
mustard.
stay, yep, and it'll stay in your
Yeah,
skin.
that's
But you'll
wild.
wake up without
At least you don't
a
have a
fever.
burn.
No
If I have
burn.
to choose between the two, I mean,
Hmm.
yeah,
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 you don't have to go that far. Like that's the
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a cool life hack though. That's
it
wild.
is. Yeah.
I almost want to like burn myself. Just to, not. I'm not going to obviously. I'm not an idiot, but I will. The next time I do, mustard.
So
Any
the
particular
first and
honey
only
mustard?
job that my wife, when she moved to the States, the only job she could get was McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah. Of
She burned herself a lot.
course,
And
yeah.
that's what they taught her.
Oh shit! Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Uh-huh. And she's
Wow.
kept it ever since. And so when she moved in, started
Yeah,
burning herself. And then when I did it was like, no way. Right.
yeah, yeah. The first time she did it, you were probably, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, what are you
So once I used it, I went, oh,
Huh.
huh,
Interesting.
right.
That's crazy.
Very interesting. All
Yeah.
right, here's some of this, and this is why I brought up the trip to coming to Orlando here pretty soon, because we were watching Universal Studios, watching stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
and there's a trap that people didn't realize that they were going into. And
Okay.
I guess they're taking the Star Lord approach and going, listen, it's not a trap if you know it's coming, it's a standoff.
Okay.
All right. It's a
All
movie
right.
quote. Movie quote. Star Lord. People should understand Star Lord, right? Guardians of the Galaxy. You go back, right?
Yeah.
So
Been
he
a minute for
he
me, but
he
yeah.
says it multiple times. He's like, it's not a trap. It's a standoff.
All right.
So, Sean, are you going to this standoff? Right? Like, once you hear of a trap and see a trap, do
Yeah.
you take the
'Cause you
standoff
know it's
approach?
there. Yeah.
Or do you just like, hell no, I'm not going, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here's what it
Yeah.
is. And this is the other part that
That's
made me think of it too, right? We love bugs, we love animals, we love all that fun stuff, right? I
yeah.
like watching bug wars.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best. Yeah. Yeah.
Great,
It's wild.
right?
Yeah.
You throw them in though, sometimes you see one guy's like, yeah, I'm not into this.
Yeah.
And he's
I see
trying to
that
get
with like
out of there.
the scorpions and the spiders. I see that a lot where one of them's like, nah, I don't need
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
They eventually, right? With some prodding or
Yeah.
something,
Just, it's like, well, now we have
it's
to.
time to tango, right? Do you take that approach and go, I'm not sure I really want to get out? Or you go,
Hmm.
listen, I'm in, let's do this. We'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
here's the trap that people
All right.
didn't realize was going on,
Oh boy.
right? There's a log ride, like boat ride, whatever those things are called now, right? Those big tube
Yeah.
things, okay?
All right.
And there's always, when you go to those, if you've not been, and if somebody is listening has been, like, you always gonna like, am I the guy that's not gonna get wet? Right. So then the
Ah,
rides will pride themselves like everybody's gonna, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or you can actually go this ride where people pay
Okay.
to spray.
Okay.
When I say, do you realize you're in a trap,
Oh
right? Like
man. Yeah.
you're paying to shoot water at people. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the people that are riding
Man.
have no fear. They say, have no fear. It's okay. You will not. There's no chance
Yeah.
of getting dry because we're paying people. Like, sorry, not
Shoot.
the people are paying
Shoot.
us to shoot you.
Yeah.
Right. So
You're getting wet. That's
bystanders walking by or whatever, sitting in line will pay money for a gun
wow.
to spray people.
What a country.
What a country.
Love it.
When you get off the ride, no worries.
All right.
We have human dryers set up, and for $5 to $7,
Oh,
you can pay to get dry.
damn.
This lady saying it didn't budge up, like nobody understood the trap. And I'm literally going, which bug
Oh,
am I going to be? Am I
yeah.
going to dare risk this? Or am
Oh,
I going to go, absolutely not. I'm not going because I have no desire to go walk around
soaking wet.
wet, zero.
So you're
So am I going
obviously
to pay the seven
paying your
bucks
$7. And you might even have to pay 14.
times
You might
four?
have to go in there twice. Yeah, yeah, times
Yeah.
4 too. Oh, yeah.
And then do you have to go try it, right?
Yeah.
Are we not all the way dry? Like,
Jeez. That's
hmm,
wild.
great trap though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
genius. Once you
man.
think of that log ride, you
Yeah.
go, cool. Great job, guys. Like that's all I had. I could. I just was like golf clap. Like hats
Yeah.
off. Like
That's phenomenal. Man. Wow. Well done.
you're gonna
They,
pay to get in the park,
they create the
and then when
problem
you
and
come
the
to
solution.
rides, yeah, you're gonna pay extra per ride. Like,
Jeez.
mm,
What a money grab. That's genius,
yeah,
though.
it
Yeah.
is genius.
I mean, it's
It's
kind of like where
genius.
they give you like, free peanuts at the bar and then they sell you,
Absolutely.
something,
Except they don't do that anymore here. Fucking Corona killed all that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they
Mm.
haven't done it here for a while.
Old
They
school
pushed the
days, though,
pretzels
yeah.
for a bit and
Big
then
big
yeah.
bowls of nuts at every
Oh,
part of the bar.
keep
Like,
'em coming. Yeah,
mhm,
exactly.
popcorn, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And we got the solution for you too.
mhm.
Jeez, that's wild. So I know I'm not going. I don't like to walk around wet either. I mean, who does, right? But hmm. That's a tough one. I think it would depend what I'm wearing. Like if it's, let's say I go here, for example, we have Canada's Wonderland, and there's a huge water park side of it. Some people only go and buy the water park side. If I was doing that and we were just going for the day just to spend time at the water park, then I don't really care because I'm already, everyone's walking around in swimsuit, doesn't matter. But what happens is a lot of people, as they're there, they're like, maybe we should go on some roller coasters. Because all you can hear when you're in the water park is people, they're screaming, and you're like, oh, there's even one that goes around it. So you're surrounded by, and that's where they make all their money, right? So it's like, we've done it before, go to the water park, and then we're like, I think I gotta go on the bat, and then you flip upside down, you're doing all this crazy shit. So at that point, I wouldn't want to be wet. And they kind of get us too, because the people that you can rent a locker, and so usually you rent, I think you get a free small locker, something like that. Because if you just have bathing suit, whatever. But then they give you bigger lockers. And so what people do is they're like, oh, I got to bring a bunch of stuff, change of clothes, whatever. And so now you've paid for this bigger locker. And then you're like, I think I want to do some roller coaster rides too. But because you didn't buy it all together as a bundle, it costs a lot more when you buy it
Mm.
separately after the fact, right? So they got a whole thing going on there, man. That's them and carnies, I swear to God, every business, you just go to a carnival, pay attention to some stuff, and you'll learn some business strategies. Like, they have it down to a science. So it's yeah. So I don't know. Are you going for that trap, or what do you? No, huh?
Mm-mm.
What if the kids are like, oh, we want to go?
No, they already listen. They've already said that they're thinking of getting me a wheelchair.
Oh,
So
it's good. So they've got
I
completely
can
different.
basically at this point deny to go
Anything.
on whatever I want to do.
That's
Like,
amazing. You got a free pass to just
yeah, I
whatever
do.
you want. Oh
Like,
man, that is amazing. See,
I
that's what.
said, wheelchair, what are you guys gonna push me? Like,
Mm.
No way in hell I'm gonna
Hey,
do that thing all day long. Like, oh,
exactly.
we'll get you an electric one. You will?
Yeah.
What's that gonna run?
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God. Yeah, they probably have those there though, I imagine. But they're not free, I'm sure. Like
I don't know.
it'd be kind of like the malls here. We have them here, and then they've now introduced ones for kids that are you're kind of like riding I don't know, it's like a teddy bear or something.
Yeah,
And then it's
I've
like,
seen that. Mhm.
$11 an hour. You pay them. My kids
See, at that point,
oh
I would go, listen, let's just put an hourly beer allowance.
yeah.
I mean, if I'm stumbling later in the day, why does it matter? At least
Yeah.
you're not having to push me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You
That's
know.
a smart plan there. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. So good on you for not falling for the trap, but I can see a ton of people are falling for that
Oh,
1000%.
oh
Oh
yeah.
man. Yeah, yeah. It's but those kind of traps are good. They're necessary in business too, Like actually that right there is a tip in itself, It's
Create
just-
traps.
yeah, yeah, create traps. That's oh man, that's awesome. So okay, so you're going in 2 weeks. That's wicked. How long are you guys down for?
A week, so a couple days
Oh,
at the
okay.
beach and then a couple
Perfect.
days at the parks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right on, man. Yeah, that's wicked.
Mhm.
Us too.
Yeah.
We got well, a few things planned. We were supposed to go to this place here called La Ronde. It's in the Quebec side, Montreal. It's kind of like a big attraction park thing like that too. It's got a huge what do you call those things? Big circle with the buckets. Ferris wheel. Yeah, yeah. Just thanks. I was like the big circle with the buckets. But yeah, they got a big one of those, but it's pretty cool. But then there was a concert and a friend's birthday in the same day, so they wanted to go to the concert, so we're going to a concert. Outdoor concert, and it's one of those. There's going to be lots of traps there too. Absolutely,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can park here or you can park there for this
Mhm.
price. Oh, to get in, but if you want this bracelet, that bracelet, oh, you want this, we'll take a photo of you and all your friends, and it's gonna be this, oh,
In order to do that, though, right?
yeah,
You really have to have a solid brand. Like
yeah,
you, I don't want people to hear this and go, okay, when somebody drops off their car, I'm gonna start like, no, no,
yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. No, no,
This is
that's
just a conversation. This is
yeah,
just
yeah.
a yeah,
That's
like,
that's a good point because that's where customers start to be like, geez, every 2 seconds you're nickel and diming
yeah.
me
And
this,
that's
this,
never
this,
fun.
this.
That's never
Yeah.
fun.
Oh
Mm-mm.
yeah. Like here, for example, the credit card fee thing, which is always a like a touchy subject for a lot of people, where should I add credit card fees on the invoice or not, and this and
Nah,
that.
good one. Good one.
Yeah, they introduced that here prior to I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago, it was illegal, and except for I think like two industries. But anyway, they opened it up for every business, and there were a lot of people excited about it, and a lot of people were excited about the fact that their competitors were excited about it because it meant that go ahead, yeah, yeah, you add that to your line items. You know what I mean? Thanks for all the new business, and we never even considered it. So it's still legal now, but there's no way because it's those little things that, and that's where, like you said, like if you went to McDonald's and you saw they added an extra line item for XYZ, you're still just leaving and you're still coming back. You know what I mean? It's McDonald's. You're gonna, but if they come to Auto World and they see that, it's just an entirely different sentiment. Like I think it's because people expect to be screwed by the big brands, but or they're just getting such a different experience, but your detailing business should be a little more personal, I would say, with that
Hmm.
person. You're inside their car, you know what I mean? Like it's the relationship you're building, and then when you start like, gotta charge you for this, and well, we did have the lights on while your car was here, so there's a little
Yeah.
electricity,
Ain't happening. Mm,
yeah,
can't do
no,
it.
it's not happening. It's better just include it in your price, and then they get one lump sum, they pay for it. That's it, So anyway, but that's whole nother conversation right there for sure. So last week you kind of left us on a cliffhanger though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had signed on with a new company. I'm trying to remember. I think you said it was a roofer or something.
Yeah,
Or
I didn't sign on,
okay, okay,
but they dropped off a flyer.
okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, like I told you before we got on, fortunately, when I went home, it
Misplaced.
had been properly discarded. Let's just say that.
Properly. Yeah, exactly. Well put. Well put.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
But it was very catching, so catching that I remember as I first saw it, when something catches my eye, I'll go ahead and take a note of it, right? I'll
100%.
jot something down. I like,
Yeah.
okay, huh, this stood out. And specifically what stood out is the play, right? The play of what they did.
Mm.
We've all seen and all heard of all, probably even somebody came to our door. I joked about it. I don't know if it was on this podcast or another, but the guys that come and go, knock, knock. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm in your area.
Yeah.
Joe down the street.
That's how we
Right.
got our driveway sealed this year. Some guy
Okay.
just
So that's
think,
what I was thinking. We did talk, right?
yeah,
But generally, that's such a far fetched, like, you know, Joe, like I said, Joe, like, okay, which one's Joe? Like, can you really show me that invoice? Like, were you really, or are
yeah,
you just walking around like, come on, right? What are we doing here?
yeah.
Instead of that, right? Instead of, hey, which I'll see these on flyers too. Hey, we're in your area. Let's go ahead and take care of yours too.
Mhm.
Like, suddenly you being here is a new convenience for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no,
Yeah.
right? I saw this and I realized afterwards what happened.
Yeah.
I realized what happened based off of, if you've listened or talked to anybody that has studied comics, comedians, people that do stand up,
Mhm.
they all have a theory that you have a certain amount of time. I've heard as low as 10 seconds. I've heard up 30 seconds, a minute, right? But they all have a very, very, very small window. Even if their show is an hour long on Netflix, you'll have an extremely small window to grab somebody's attention
100%.
enough that they will want to keep listening,
Yeah.
right? Put this into the flyer, put this into your email, put this into your text message, put this into your Facebook post, put this, whatever it is that you're going to put out. You have to understand there's a law of attention.
Mhm.
Let's just call it what it is. We as humans, if we don't like something, we're off, right?
That's true.
How do I get somebody to at least give me a shot, a chance, a nod? Give me 2 seconds to at least, okay, here's what they did because we don't have much time. Instead of saying, we're in your area, instead of bullshitting me, they said, pardon our dust.
Oh, all right.
Exactly what
That
I did.
that literally just people. It's like, pardon your.
You turned your head a second.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Exactly what I did. I went, pardon our dust. Oh, did you do like, right? And that half second
Yeah,
is up here. And
yeah.
what did that do? Because we know that you only buy somebody from somebody that you like, or you trust.
Hmm.
I don't know the person,
Yeah.
but I don't trust them either. I won't do that to you, but
Yeah, yeah. I was watching the fingers count down. I'm
I
like,
know. It's like,
yeah. That's the thumbnail.
okay, but I kind of like that this guy didn't bullshit me, and they're actually kind of giving a, hey,
Yeah.
apologies here, hey,
Yeah. First off,
if-
I'd say the language too kind of plays on that trust aspect, like pardon, excuse me, sorry, those kinds of things. But then also grabbing your attention, it's kind of like your brain saying, okay, I don't know them, I don't trust them, but maybe I should. And you're just kind of, curious about it. I'd say it definitely piques the curiosity in a trusting way though. It's
Mhm.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I
Dang.
don't remember the company name. I don't remember, but pardon our dust. And then of course, hey, we're in your area, right?
Hmm.
And we might have some debris. We really want to apologize for that.
Yeah. Wow.
With just a picture of a house and like
Yeah.
just okay.
So that's
Okay,
awesome.
cool.
It tells you that we're doing work without telling you
Hmm.
yeah, okay.
And
Flip
then
it
what do
open.
you do?
You flip it open. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Flip it over, flip it open.
it
Yeah.
got me to keep reading,
Yeah.
right?
Dang. Yeah, yeah.
I just go, I'm really not in the mood for shingles. I have no need for a roofer,
Yeah.
but yeah, okay. Pardon. No, cool. Okay. You've been okay. Well, what
Yeah.
it at
And those
least
are
got me to flip.
Exactly, because this is where the whole thing with marketing is a lot of it's timing where you have to grab their attention. You only have so much time to do that, but you also have to grab someone at the right time that they were possibly thinking of making that purchasing decision in a way.
Mhm.
That's true for a lot of things, right? And if you were instantly, probably that would have been, first call you made. You probably would have been like, "Hey, love the flyer. Awesome. By the way, da 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 da, swing by. This is our address. Give us a quote, whatever it is." But I think that, and that's where like flyers are a numbers game. But within the numbers game, there's a smaller numbers game as well because you've got to capture. Let's say you hand out 1,000 flyers, it's a numbers game of how many people would actually potentially use your services based on their need. Like us, we just got our roof done. If I got that flyer, doesn't matter how enticing it is or whatever, it's just not the right time for us to make a purchase regardless. But prior to that, had I got a flyer like that, because I got other flyers, I got the same ones. I got ones that, like we're gonna be in your neighborhood in 2 weeks, or we're the lowest price in town, just random statements thrown out. But there was nothing that piqued my interest. I was like, there's no difference between this and if I just go to Google and type in local roofing company, But if I was the guy that came here for our driveway stuff, he just happened to catch me. I was home and he had a good pitch though. He was talking to me and he said something similar. It wasn't like catch our dust, but he didn't do it in a flyer. He was actually on site, but he didn't do the whole like we're working down the road or something like that. But he had asked me if we had kids, and I was like, "What's it to you?" Like at first, it's kind of offstandish, and he's like, "No, no, no. It's just we're doing some work down the road, and it's noisy, and we have trucks going back and forth, and we're just letting everybody know that we're here." Da, 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 da. And so I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, thanks, man." And I was like, "What kind of work are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, we're just sealing the driveways, and we're doing your neighbors and stuff." And that's where he went to that, and I was like, "How much you charge you for that?" And he was like, 350 or 300 cash, and I was like, 300 cash sounds good to me. But then, and he had another joke on that. He said 350 or 300 with Italian Visa. And I was like, what's Italian Visa? And he was like, cash. I was like, that's good. That's good. So anyway, so he did our driveway, but it was that whole caught our attention in a different way. Like he didn't instantly jump into sales, but that's where I love flyers. I absolutely love flyers. I like flyers because they're significantly cheaper than online ads when you get the right formula in place. And that's where like that guy had the right formula in place.
Mhm. Okay, so you say that's significantly cheaper.
Yeah, big time.
Do you know off the top of your head, like
Oh,
what is a
100%.
regular Google click? What is
Yeah,
a regular flyer?
for
What
sure.
is it
So
minimum you have to do? What is it you don't have to do minimum?
yeah,
Compare those.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So that obviously will vary a lot depending on where you are and what keywords you're going after, ceramic coating versus detailing. If you're in New York or you're in some small town no one's ever heard of, that's going to vary a lot for, well, both sides of the spectrum, really, but mainly for the Google Click stuff. But I know that for us, we're spending right now between 2,500 and 4,000 a month on Google. But when we started, we were spending around 12,000. And the big discrepancy there is in the beginning, you're just kind of throwing out stuff,
Trying
hoping
to
that
figure it out.
hoping that'll
Mm.
work. Exactly. We knew it was going to be expensive in the beginning, and we were just trying to blanket everything we could, and then refine things as we went. Now, 2 or 3 years later, after we started the ads, things have obviously settled down quite a bit. We've got our things pretty refined, but even that, when you look at that and you say, okay, so $3,000 for all that, we have to have a massive sales side on the other side to close those people. They're a lot more skeptical, I'd say. They have a lot more questions. They're shopping around a lot more because they're doing everything from their computer, right? They're actively looking for something. That's how they found us in Google. So they're looking for us, but they're also, well, let me comparison shop. It's just a couple clicks
Mhm.
away, right?
Mhm.
So I would say that if I factored that into the cost per click side, then we're probably closer to the $10,000 mark by the time we involve the salespeople and stuff like that per month. But that being said, still highly effective. We're going to continue doing Google ads because it works. It brings in thousands and thousands of dollars. That being said, you mentioned something earlier before we jumped on, which was diversifying, and that's where we do things like we do flyers. This one's for another business I helped a buddy start up. I'll show it more in a minute, but this was when you mentioned it last week. I was like, we actually just did some flyers for a guy that have been very effective. But we do a lot of flyer stuff. Mostly what we do for Auto World is we'll do door-to-door flyers. We'll even go to the mall. We run contests sometimes. We'll go to the mall and we'll just literally hand out like, hey, do you drive? Oh, you do? Oh, perfect. Hey, you could win a free detail or you could win free tinting. hand them a card, they can go enter to win, and that's how we collect a lot of info, and then we follow up with them and close those sales. But we also do a lot of we go to like grocery stores, libraries, put up those corkboard things with the numbers you can pull off. And I posted a template in the group too that people can actually download. You just have to swap out your logo, phone number, and you're good to go. But those have been hugely effective for us. Thing is, there's only so many numbers on it, so people pull them off. So it's not something you just do once and then, okay, great, that's done for my business. This has to be you keep doing it, you know? So we do it every week, and we pay one of our staff to go around, they do it, they put it up. So they've got a route, and they'll do, Monday to Tuesday, they do these, 3 to 6 locations. And then Wednesday and Thursday, they'll do another 6, and so on and so forth. But you have
I
to pay.
think when we talked off air, it was, hey, if somebody's
Yeah.
going to do that, make sure you pay that guy.
Yeah, make sure you pay them.
I think most details would be like, hey, guy, go do this. Like,
Go to this, yeah, and he's gonna, okay, he'll do it once and then never get,
Mhm.
or he'll just take the stack and throw it in the garbage.
There
Like,
you go.
yeah, you want someone that's gonna actually do it, and find a member of your staff that could use some extra cash. Well, they could all use extra cash, but find someone that could use some extra cash, but wants to be a part of something bigger than just a job. Someone that they look at this, they're like, oh, this is my career. I see myself going places and moving up, and that's where you've got to structure your company in a way that there will be somewhere for them to move or advance
Mhm.
if you want them long term. But yeah, so with this company, so I helped my buddy start this company, RHM. It stands for regular home maintenance, because it goes with the whole everything we push with detailing, right? Maintenance plans and stuff. For those of you not watching, I'll listening on Spotify, I'll post this in the group as well. So it's basically a flyer, has a house, and then it says your estimate is inside. Well, I can't read when it's backwards. Yeah, your estimate from RHM is inside, and then just a big arrow. And we bought these little sticky things that we can put that right on someone's door, and then they open it up, and then inside we handwrite some stuff about the work that we noticed that needs to be done at their house, the roof needs replacing, or so on and so forth. And the big one too is we attach prices. And the big reason is because we take note of where we went and stuff like that, and we follow up with them. And that's where we go and we do a second visit, and we just knock and we say, hey, I was around, wasn't sure if maybe the wind had taken it off, but I was really concerned when I saw there's a tree growing out of your gutters or something like that. So we've been doing a lot of follow-up stuff like that, but it's been working incredibly well, because they get all the information up front and it's handwritten. So it's not like this is just some generic stuff, whatever. It's tailored to them. We actually took a look at their house. We did it for free. And it's just kind of that personal touch, but the big thing is, like this, the paper, it's hard to relay over the air, but the paper quality, it's really nice. I don't know if you can kind of hear it maybe, but it's a nice paper stock. It's printed professionally. We put the name of the technician that was there. So everything's just looks professional. Half the time, because it's just like your estimate from da is inside, what we find is that half the time the phone calls are coming in, and it'll be, the wife, and they're like, yeah, I found your flyer. My husband wasn't home at the time, but I'll make sure that he gets it. We're like, all right, perfect. So they think that this was something that they had requested, and we just, sorry, we missed you. Like, here's your thing, But anyway, they've been working out well. This is round one. We're going to do another A/B testing where we do some that are smaller size, some that have different wording, things like that. But something like this, cost comparison, to print 1,000 of these was like $170, something like that. And then the rest is just your time to walk around. And you got to think, like, out of 1,000, when you get the right message, you don't need a super high closing rate. You don't need a super high conversion. And it generates big money for the buck. But the beautiful thing about it too is you can pick and choose where they go. So
Mm.
you can choose the neighborhoods, you can
Mhm.
choose if you're targeting certain vehicles, things like that. There's a lot more
Yeah.
benefits there, I find.
People here in the States got to be careful. I know you had said you had even some people thought about just, hey, going around throwing them in mailboxes.
Yeah.
Not here. You do
No.
that in the States, you can get fined.
Yeah.
And it becomes I think it's even a federal fine. Like,
Damn.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's serious.
Because it's involving the mailbox, or
Because the mailbox is for mail
yeah.
that
Ah.
has a postage paid.
Yeah. I had and what is it?
Seems
USPS?
strange, right? I
USPS?
put my own mailbox in. I'm a private citizen.
Yeah.
If somebody goes and puts, but I
It's
guess it's also people can get
property
fined
of.
because if not, years ago, that's all people would have done is just walk around throwing shit in people's mailbox.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
guess it's also a way to keep that riffraff down.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that yeah, because it's the same thing here too. Like if you get someone's mail by mistake and then you open it, It's a federal offense as well. Like you're not allowed to mess with people's mail, stuff like that. And what we've done here is people still have mailboxes. Like we've got one, we had to put it up. But not much goes in there, just pizza flyers here and there. But no actual mail goes in there because we have community mailboxes. And so you go to your community mailbox, that's where you get your mail. And most of it's flyers and shit like that, of course. But there is some mail in there. But I find that the mailboxes don't really work well either. Like we've tried the direct mail stuff, where it's
Yeah.
just like the unaddressed ad mail. It just doesn't work the same. It just really doesn't. Your conversion rates are so low. It works in some industries better than others. Like when we were doing our advertising company before, big clients of ours were pizza shops. It works extremely well for them, but they also they're not sending out 1,000. They're sending out 100,000. You know, so they just blanket the whole city kind of thing. But it's a very, very different industry. It's like doing that for like ceramic coating, for detailing. You're not going to have the same kind of response rates as a pizza shop. It's just not going to happen. But that being said, the mailbox I don't think works well for a bunch of reasons. You're also just once again in the clutter.
Yeah, you're in
You're
the
with
clutter.
everybody else,
Mhm.
right? And so, and that's where same thing with Google Ads. Like a lot of people don't know, they think it's just, oh, I pay for a position and I'm now number one or number two. It's like, no, you're not. It's an auction. And so even on your own computer, you might check it every day and you're like, oh, I'm number one. I'm number one. No, you're not. What you see is very much different from what two houses down from you sees, which is different from 50 houses down. It's very, very different because the algorithm factors in their history, their location, like so many different things. There's like 2,000 data points they factor in. It's very different, and it goes by you put your budget, what you're willing to spend per day. I put my budget, what I want to spend per day, and then based in that exact moment, they factor out whose bid is higher than the others, and that's where I'm number one. You might be number seven, and you show up under all the search results. Like it's hard to gauge. So Google Ads do work. I'm not putting down Google Ads at all. Love Google Ads. The biggest thing I like in comparison to Facebook ads, Google ads are intentional. So the customer's actively searching for whatever keywords you've chosen. Facebook's just kind of you're just hoping you catch somebody that maybe is interested in this. You know, you can choose some demographics, but not much. Google's better in that regard, but for that, you pay a lot more as well. Now, I think the best strategy anyone could do is multifaceted approach. I think you've got to do online, you have no choice, but you also have to do offline, you have no choice, and both are in your best interest. And that's where I think when you get the right kind of campaigns, the right kind of flyers, flyers are hugely effective. And but they have to go out. You print a box, you have 1,000. If you hand out 50 of them, like what can you expect? What kind of results can you expect from that little effort? So you got to put the work in. And that's where initially this guy, he even told me at first, he was like, ah, yeah, but it seems like a lot of work. I have to fill this out by hand. And then, okay, great. And then I have to put the pricing and assess the house. And then I've got to put it on his door and then go do another one. And I'm like, yeah, that's the work it takes, though. That's what it takes to get the job done. And that's if it's hard work, your chances of success are going to be greater in a lot of cases because no one else is going to want to do that. They're going to want to, oh, I'll just dash it in the mailbox. So I'll just whatever, you know. But if you're the one taking the time to do that, you'll find that you have to do less houses than the other guy who's just dashing them in the mailbox because, and it's,
Mhm.
it's just going to be more effective, you know. So finding that strategy, I think, is the key. And for us, like that's where we found little differences. Those flyers I mentioned where you can pull off the numbers, we have two different sets. We have one that we print that goes in somewhere where we call quick reads, and then we have another
Mhm.
one where it goes other places. The quick reads has less information, it's less cluttered, and it's usually just one or two services, and it's boom in your face, and it's on the corkboard because these are people walking out with a ton of groceries. What do you
Makes
want to do
sense.
after you check out? I
Yeah.
want to get to my
Mhm.
car, right?
Mhm.
So it's just something quick. If it catches their eye, they're like, "Oh wow, they pulled a ticket." People at the library, because they have corkboards there as well, and we just go in and talk to them. We're like, hey, we see it's a community board. Can we put this up there? Da da da. And they're like, yeah, as long as it's not offensive. And we're like, yeah, absolutely not most times. But then we put that up. But those ones are a little more in depth. We usually put different services because we realize that, the like different packages or whatever. The people that go to the library, at the shopping mall or at the grocery store, you get all walks of life, right? But at the library, we found it tended to be, certain demographics. And so we would target our minivan one crushes it at the library. Oh my God. And I think like my own household, we go to the library, we get stuff, but usually I'm just picking stuff up. but it's my wife that'll go and spend the day there with the kids, and she'll get this, that. No, the library has this activity going on. So what we found was, oh, there's a lot more moms that are going there. So anyway, our minivan one absolutely kills at libraries. But yeah, so that's my love of flyers. That's I could literally talk all day about flyers. It's and flyers come in a variety of forms too. I'll mention that real quick because we do different types. Like the one you got sounded like it was more like a postcard, where it's like one side and then you flip it. It's the second side. Those are
Mm-hmm.
even cheaper. Those work well. Like man, we print 1,000 of those for like $35, something like that. Like it's crazy. So in comparison to Google Ads, like it's just you can't compete, and it's so much cheaper. Just requires a little effort, a little bit of gusto. But then we print other stuff too. Like one thing we did at the library too, we did bookmarks. So we printed bookmarks, and so they're just 2 inch by 7 inch postcard material. We print those, and we print them on a UV coated thing so that they're waterproof. And people love them. They're like, oh wow. And we usually put like cool pictures of cars or something. So it's the kids are like, oh, I want that, you know. And then
Mm-hmm.
we just have like all our info on there, stuff like that. So thinking outside the box, you end up getting that omnipresence. There's so much stuff you can print, so much stuff, and putting yourself in a position where you're not reliant on the internet is key. Because how many times we've seen people post things like, "Oh man, my Google account got blocked," or "Oh my God, my Facebook page has been banned," or something, you know, and you put all your eggs in that basket without diversifying. It's a dangerous situation to find yourself in for your business. And if you haven't spent any time mastering the craft of offline marketing, what
Mm-hmm.
happens when you can't do online marketing? You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's that's where, and especially a lot of the guys, as you know, can't do it themselves. So now you're also introducing a third party, hoping that
Mm-hmm.
they stay in business, keep their prices the same, that they're actually doing the work they're supposed to do, like so on and so forth. That's far too many variables compared to printing some flyers, delivering some flyers, and getting the job done, but doing it in the right way.
All right. So you had my attention.
All right.
Pardon our dust.
Yeah. Love it.
Same as, you and I did a series. I still encourage everybody to go back and listen to how to get people in your funnel.
Mm,
And then once somebody's in your quote unquote funnel, you got to keep them there,
mhm,
right? He had my attention. He, she, I don't know, whatever. Uh, Flip it over. Here's where I think a lot of people make a mistake,
mhm.
right? Flip it over. Talk about our detailing quality. Talk about a sale. Talk about what we use, right? I didn't
Yeah.
see any of that. I didn't see any
Ah,
roofing shingle company of Oklahoma, right? Like
yeah.
making a
Okay.
little joke if we can know of some coating companies that have people that buy a territory that's your town or your area, right? Like I
Yeah.
didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. Now, hats off to the coating company that got these people to do that. Like, hats off to them.
Yeah.
Like,
That's yeah. Well
you
done.
know, well done.
And there's the trap.
Bingo. Right? I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any I didn't see anything about what he
Mm,
used or promises, you know.
yeah.
I didn't see any like before and afters.
Mm,
I didn't. So what would get somebody to keep reading?
ah. So they did really good at capturing your attention. But then after
What
that,
would keep me reading? Is it
mm,
picture with badges on, right? Is it the certifications? Is it what would get somebody to keep reading when it came? And this is why I bring this up. I want people to all do that to their own self and their own business and their what would keep people reading about your business?
mm,
Like, why would somebody keep reading so that they're going to buy something?
yeah. And
There's right
yeah,
there's the biggest, and that's the hardest, and that's
true.
the right.
Yeah.
This is the part of the episode where I go, we give the tips. If you want to know that answer, you got to pay.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I'm not going to say that on this part. Here's what I loved about what he did. He followed the YouTube guidelines, and he goes, "Hey, did you know?" Right? Or how to, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
do you think that, right? Like, he asked a question back, because what do we know that so many people on YouTube, like, they're
It all
asking
starts there.
questions.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a question. So if you want to, right, if you want to be ranked up in the algorithm or ranked up for people, you're going to say something about what question they have in that very early, right? Goes back to that 2 or 3 seconds, right? It's got to be very quick. So he went with, and here's the other flip of the coin that I want people to understand. Flip of the coin's the wrong word, chess move. Here's the chess move that he played, which I really enjoyed. And that chess move was not, here's how great we are at solving your problems. All right. So it wasn't, here's how awesome of stuff that we use to get you right. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was, did you know? And he used then,
All right.
he's going to use the objections that he's already heard before.
Ah, smart. Yeah.
And he's going to ask questions about to the customer of, did you know that a lot of roofs in your area are being covered by insurance?
Ooh, boom.
Probably biggest objection, if he had a guy going around knocking on doors, well, how much that costs? Well, I gotta go talk to the missus. Well, I gotta get back to you. I gotta see if we can do right. We've all heard those. Let me get back to you once the price has been given. So straight from the very top, off the bat, right? Hey,
Yeah.
did you know it actually is going to be covered most likely
By your
by
insurance.
your insurance company?
Yeah.
And it could even be a percentage of how many of his customers. I think he even talked about that. Like, we service, right? This becomes the tie in with how great you are, is we
Yeah.
help people, right? We work with, right? We have a history of, you could throw a
Xbox.
stat, right?
Yeah.
72% of our clientele have free roofs. What? Like,
It's like,
so
well,
let's hop on the
yeah.
phone, see how to get you, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Something that, did you know, and this isn't the, this is the easy one that we could all think of. Did you know ceramic coatings protect from bird droppings? Like, uh, trash. Like, what does
Yeah.
that do to me? I don't know. I have what did bird drop? Like, I don't, but I don't want to geek out too much like that. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's some part that you're gonna have to say, what is it that you're trying to sell? Could you say something like, did you know that a kid's cough, could be that minivan mom, could be that
Mhm.
soccer mom, right? Did you know that you spend 72 hours a week in your car and there's more bacteria on the steering wheel than a public toilet, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that, common allergies are passed around inside of the back of cars where your kids are? Yeah. Regular maintenance will take care of this for you. We
Absolutely.
specialize in da, 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 like,
Yeah.
did you know?
Even things
Gotta
like,
get, not, here's who we are. It's a,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
did you
yeah.
know this?
Yeah. Because even things like how much the average customer would spend on, detailing their vehicle per year or something, and ceramic coating can reduce your maintenance cost by, XYZ. Stuff like that. I think like we do that when we push our maintenance stuff now, because then we upsell ceramic coatings and we say, well, if you get the ceramic coating, it can actually reduce your annual detailing cost by XYZ. And then we lead into our, here for $100 a month, $200 a month. These are your options. But
Did
yeah,
you
like,
know, right?
did
You
you
could
know?
throw in a,
Yeah,
you get a, maybe Google, right? Google
yeah.
what percentage of cars, or what percentage does a car that's turned in, clean out of sale versus dirty? What percent, if I,
Yeah.
something, right? Some
You can
weird.
find
And
all
this
those stats though.
some
Yeah.
little stat like, and okay, so
Yeah.
this would be where we say you got to send stuff to the soccer mom. Then maybe you go to the neighborhood that has more high affluent and you start talking about something else, not maintenance. Maybe it's right.
Yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
past to, did you know? There's
So much to
past to.
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Time saving's a big one too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge one. Especially you go
So,
to those, high performing individual neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Saving time, that's a huge one. But
mhm.
yeah, I always like the idea of going around where I know they're gonna be doing construction all summer long and then putting up flyers there about
There you go.
Yeah,
Great one.
and you can find out like where they're doing construction and oh, this project's going to be, done there for like there was one that just happened maybe 2 kilometers from our shop, and they said they're going to be finishing the project, I think August next year or something like that. So I'm like, oh, beautiful. So this the whole neighborhood's just getting crop dusted every week. I'm like, that's perfect. And it's just using the resources you got around you and drive around when you see a neighborhood's under construction or something. Be like, yep, I got to hit up that neighborhood, drop off some flyers about maintenance, about exterior detailing, ceramic coating, you name it. And that's where the did you know could come in. You could be like, did you know that
Mhm.
unfortunately the city won't cover your maintenance, but we've got something
Perfect.
that will
Yeah.
get you good to go. So yeah, I love that. Did you know? Okay, so he had that section on there. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Did he have anything about his reviews as well or no?
Mm.
Ah, interesting. Okay. I always found that is a good one, but it depends on how you display them.
Did I miss it? I don't know. I guess did I see it is probably a better. I did
Gotcha.
not. I did, and it didn't. I don't. You and
Yeah.
I. This is where you and I, right? So I don't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't. I don't pay attention to a review or anything like that. So I
Sure.
don't
Yeah.
know. Didn't even cross my mind to look for it. I didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I don't. I don't. That's a you, right? You look for that. I don't.
I
Yeah.
look for that. That's true. But I will say
Mhm.
this though. I'm a big fan of reviews and I love reviews, but I am on the fence when they're displayed to me by the business
Yes.
sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
I'd almost rather
Why are
not.
you telling me this?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, do you feel the need to tell me this? Like, it's
Mhm.
something that I either, if you don't tell me, it's not top of mind, or I'm looking for it, but I want to see it in its raw form, like from the users, not.
I wonder if you say something like, "See what others are saying about us," or I've
Yeah,
heard that, like,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I could definitely like, okay, if I'm a guy that's concerned about what other people say about, then that's probably better. Let me click there. Like,
Yeah, it's true. And a statement like that, where it's like, check our reviews online and see what people are saying about us. A lot of people, I think, would read that and, like, unless they're really into reviews, maybe not even check because they're like, oh, they're that confident that
bingo,
I'm gonna
bingo.
go to.
Hmm.
But if they just show me like a Google image with like, 5 stars or something, I'm like, well, anyone can do that. You know what I mean? I'm like, that doesn't make it true. And so
But based on what you just said, even having that would
yeah,
probably get people enough to go, "Oh, cool, they got 5 stars
got
on
five
Google,
stars,
great."
yeah, and then just
Like,
keep it moving. Yeah,
I
yeah.
just keep them, yeah, good
That's
one.
true. Yeah, yeah. But that's good. The ones that kill me are where they just have like a Facebook icon. They'll just sort of like follow us online. It's like, well, where? So now I
Yeah.
have to go and it's a lot more
Why do I need
difficult.
to follow you?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, I don't even know you yet. Yeah, it's true. But that's a good one. The key components to flyers. And that's what I think people should do is get some junk mail
Mhm.
and then go through it.
Dissect it, yeah, look at it.
Yeah, see what piques
Good
your
one.
interest, and not even just yourself. I think, pass it to your wife. Don't tell her like your feedback and just say, take a look at this. Pass it to other people too, like even your kids, friends, whatever. Get some feedback from a few people and say, listen, I'm looking at doing some ads. I want some feedback on what caught your attention, what didn't. Do you have any flyers that, captured your attention and find out people's buying habits in real life like that. Those are good strategies to do because what you might think, like I design something and I'm like, oh, I love how this looks. I'll show it to my team and they're like, oh, geez, really hate that color or something like that. It's not always, it's in the eye of the beholder almost. So I think that's where you got to get that feedback. If not, you're just going to waste money, and it won't be effective. And that's where I think a lot of people go wrong with flyers and they say flyers don't work. No, your flyer didn't work, or the 50 out of the 1,000 that you were supposed to hand out didn't work. So I don't think flyers have gotten their due respect, I think. And that's where, how you design them, how you put them out, I think that's the biggest key. But yeah, so man, that's awesome about the flyer though, 100%. And I think that everybody needs to make that part of their business. I did have something to talk about today, but I think we're gonna have to postpone it until next week. It was pushed and pushed, but
Yeah.
that's okay. We'll hold that one. So I got
Mhm.
something to talk to you guys about Joshy the giraffe. But anyway, we'll dive into that next week. So
Cool.
man. So I appreciate it, guys. Start designing some flyers. I'll repost that link that I have for the flyer that you can download and edit. And then I think it would be a good idea if you have done flyers before, post them and I'll take a look at them. We'll give you some feedback. And if anybody wants some help with some flyers or something like that, then yeah, shoot a message over.
If you put them out there,
Yeah.
you are putting yourself out there.
Yeah, this is true.
That's
And
the part that people are like, "Hey, what's everybody's opinion?" Then they get mad that people share their opinions.
that's true. Yeah, yeah, good.
Like,
If you share them, know you're going to get some feedback, and you should hope for more bad feedback than good. Because when I show somebody something, they're like, "Oh, it looks amazing." I'm like, "Okay, I'm never asking that person again."
yeah.
I'm not coming to you for a trophy. You know what I mean? Like, this is real money, real dollars being spent.
But
Actual
the
feedback.
flip of that is then the people in the comments are like, "Well, I would do this. Well, I wouldn't do that." And it's like, "Oh yeah, man. How long you been? Oh,
Yeah,
how many have you done?
that's a
Oh,
good point too. And that's
like
yeah, man, that's true. It is tough to get good feedback nowadays because you put it online.
constructive, right?
Construct.
Because
Yeah,
people tell you their opinions, but they've been in business for 2 years. They're 22. Like,
yeah, and
not saying that 22-year-olds don't have valid opinions. So
it's just
relax before Sean gets emails, you know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
it's
We'll just
just there
parcel back.
is a,
It's
if you're
true though.
detailing cars, you're
Yeah,
probably not a marketing genius,
yeah,
or else you'd be in a marketing company.
yeah. It's
So stay in,
true though.
like,
Yeah, it's
just
true.
is what
Like
it
there's a
is.
million
Like,
things I don't know about, but I ran a marketing company for almost 20 years and we did a lot of stuff, and
yeah,
so and that was the cool part is that I find later in my life, I notice all my businesses across the board have done substantially well in comparison to before where I'd have two or three companies and they were, it was just that whole thing. We were just grinding, and sure, we swung a lot of hammers and hit a lot of nails, but everything has been so much smoother since every year that I've accumulated all this knowledge from working with these other companies on what they did, what went well, what went wrong, what they would have done better. After seeing thousands and thousands of ads, thousands of flyers, like your shit, you just
yeah,
that's what happens. You just know, and it just comes effortlessly where it's like, oh yeah, like even my brother-in-law was like, wait, so we'll need a job, and you just said, why don't I just make you one? And you just started a company, and now it's like booked solid. And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, but how? And he's like, did you like throw a bunch of money at it? And I'm like, no, because I don't know him like that. You know what I mean? Like, I said, no, but the whole thing too is it's guerrilla marketing. If he can't, it's just sales. If you can't sell and then have those sales float the company, like we're not in business and I'm not starting hobbies for people. So, yeah, of course it can be done. And so, but that's where
well,
you,
I like it. I like it too. The way you said it is like, if you want a job, like,
yeah,
okay, I'll create you a job. You can own the company, but you're going to work it like a
oh yeah,
job.
you're going to, exactly.
There's the problem, right? Like,
100%, but you look at him, 23-year-old kid, and he's already thinking, he's like, okay, so probably like year three, we'll be able to be in a position where I could like hire some help and then get them going with me. And I was like, most likely sooner, a lot sooner. But the thing is, the mentality there, that said a lot to me where he's understanding like things take time. Things aren't just an overnight. Because a lot of these kids now, I wasn't sure where his mentality was, and I didn't know if he was like, okay, so a year from now I can choose the color of my Lambo. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people that have that like idea in their head, right? And it's like, no, no, sometimes things take time, and I can help you, but from a limited perspective because like I have my own life, my own companies to run, things like that. But I'll get you going. And that's where, as I mentioned last week, I kind of let him not flounder a bit, but I said, okay, I gave you some tools and some advice on what to do, and let's see how you do. And he kind of just eased off the pedal a little bit, and then he saw the effect that had, and he's like, never again. And now he's 7 days a week he's working. So I was like, good for you, man. He's
there you
booking
go.
solid, and he's told his girlfriend, he's like, hey, listen, I'm on a mission here. I'm setting ourselves up. So let me just grind out right now, and then
Mhm.
we're gonna climb together, and
There
2 years
you
from
go.
now we'll be good. So it's exciting to see that, and he's out there doing flyers, zero Google ads, and he's booked solid. So
Sweet.
I don't know. I don't know. There's something
Mm,
there. That's all I'm
little
saying.
hacky hackaroo.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Awesome, man. All right. So I'll save what I had next for next week. So guys, tune in. We'll see you there. I'll tell you about Joshy the giraffe, and we'll take it from there. Awesome. Let me see those flyers though. You'll get some constructive feedback. All right. Cheers, Marty. Talk soon.
Yeah.
See ya.